Cancer, the moon is in Virgo and she's giving us an invitation to help us get ourselves together for this full moon energy. So stick around here to find out more. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just epic, Cancer. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the Chariot Friends. My name is Justin. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, and also if you're new, the purpose of the channel for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler, the good old moon. I actually saw it the other day kind of early, Cancer. She was out there just all out and about during the daytime. She was just like, hey, Luna, bring you here. But I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going to avoid, of course, just all those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you. Leave the rest with me. Never force read on situation. Everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Feeling pumped, Cancer. And how could you not, Cancer? Because you know what? Your space has been cleansed. Crystals. Feeling lovely. Oh. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, happy Venus Day. Venus is associated with Fridays. This is a great energy. And think about where Venus is at as well, with her still being in Aries for a little while longer before she moves back into her home sign of Taurus. With Venus being in Aries, she's technically in detriment in this sign, which means she doesn't function as well, because now we've gone from Venus is more focused on the relationships with others, but now we're more so kind of focusing on self. And so I feel like this energy really kind of invites you, Cancer, to do some nice things for yourself. You know, because a lot of the times I feel that, you know, where it can be looked at, or we may feel that maybe if we do just kind of take like a me day, you know, just really kind of focus on you, that it could be seen as selfish or blah, blah, blah. And you know what, even if it is, it's all about you, Cancer. And when we still got a little bit of this, well, now technically when we're watching this, the sun just entered into Taurus, but that's fine. But Venus is still running the show there, and her being in Aries, he's still under the influence of her. So, still valid. But this, I feel, is a great energy, Cancer. Take yourself out on a date. Maybe go do something, buy something like maybe some Epsom salts, and maybe draw yourself up a nice bath. Maybe cook yourself up a lovely meal there, Cancer. Something to take it. Maybe it's payday, Cancer. It's a great day to get your checkbook balanced. Maybe budget in a little something. Maybe take yourself out to the theater, Cancer. I know we're getting old school. But yeah, just something to kind of make yourself just appreciate the beauty in life, Cancer. Venus is how we get into harmony, and when you talk about relationships with Venus, this is more than just relationships with peoples, your relationship with music, your relationship with the environment, your surroundings and things. And so, you know, we want to surround yourself with all that beauty and niceness there, Cancer. And then, like I was saying earlier, Cancer, we are in a waxing gibbous moon in Virgo. And what I like about the moon in Virgo is absolutely on, Cancer. Thank you, higher self. Ooh, I like that too, Cancer. Yeah, we're going to get into that. It's going to be a nice one. But with the moon in Virgo energy really is great for getting things in order. And this, I feel, with all this big energy that we had from this eclipse, now that we're working with, you know, the moon is getting closer to her fullness, because we're only a few days from the full moon in Scorpio that's going to be happening on Tuesday. And that one, I feel, is going to bring up a lot of energy, you know, a lot of emotions. I mean, there's a lot. This new moon is taking that whole big ball of Aries that was going through there, and there's probably a lot that may be processing on during that time. So I feel this can be a time to maybe kind of make some plans for that. If you're already maybe sensing some things that have been going on, maybe setting aside a little time for yourself. I know that when the moon is in Scorpio, the moon is talking with like 90% of my chart in like major aspects. So that's a lot of energy going on. So I'm like, you know what, we're just going to take a beat when the moon is in Scorpio. I'm like, you know, do not disturb. Maybe going through a crisis. But the moon in Virgo, I feel, is to help kind of mitigate that crisis a little bit. You know, it is, I feel, to tend to your needs as well. Because one thing too that I like, or something that I've heard in that, and it's been kind of established that Chiron is associated with Virgo as well as one of the guardians over Virgo. And Chiron is that wound that we tend to on the daily. And we've been talking about Chiron a lot during this cycle, just because they played such a big part in that eclipse. And so I feel like this is kind of looking at some areas. I feel this eclipse, as things have been growing, as the moon has been gaining more light from the sun, this has been maybe bringing up maybe some fears that have been coming up for your Cancer, maybe some insecurities, maybe. And this can be where Virgo, and we want to be mindful because Virgo energy has the capacity to be a little overcritical. So we want to be kind to ourselves, Cancer. But I feel Virgo, what I like about Virgo energy, that it is very practical. It's like, okay, let's lay this thing out and call it what it is. Let's call a turtle, a duck, and a tough emotion, and not resist this type of stuff. Allow the energies to flow. And it's just like, how can you get into, because when you think about their other guardian, Mercury, their main guardian, Mercury is not just about the mind and things. We do want to take care of that mind there, Cancer, but it's about our day-to-day. And right now, Mercury's taking a beat. Mercury's still, depending on when you're watching this, is still retrograde. So this is the time, and I still think about that man. I see his sunglasses and that hair. He's a trip. But patience is a big thing, Cancer, because the energies are building up. But it's not just about the doing the actions part of it. I feel like we want to make sure that we are balancing out and making sure that we're taking care of ourselves as well, especially with Chiron being in Aries for a little while longer. He spends a long time in Pisces and Aries, and I want to say in Taurus as well, but for sure for Pisces and Aries, he spends a long time in those signs. So there's a lot of extra focus when it comes to, when you think about Pisces and Aries, that connection with higher self and that connection with the personality, with the ego self. So a lot of things to think about here, Cancer, a lot of things to get in order. So I feel like this is not something where you want to overwhelm yourself as well. Prioritize. You don't need to tackle everything in the day. What resonates with you this day? Maybe you want to tackle this stuff. Maybe you don't want to tackle anything today. But see, I feel like it's really kind of analyzing where you're at and getting things, really just kind of help you getting things in track there, Cancer. And if you're curious how this energy operates in your chart, want to work with the moon more intentionally there, Cancer, book a reading with me. I have links down in the description box below and also on my Instagram page as well. But it really can be a very beneficial thing, Cancer. Like I was saying, when the moon is in Scorpio, whenever there's anything around Scorpio, so especially Scorpio season. Like last Scorpio season, I could have been better prepared. So you take a note from this stuff, though. You tune into Taurus season. That's another one too, where it forms sextiles with my Cancer placements, which is delightful. It's forming squares with my Leo placements. So I got the 5 things, and we still got this. We got heavy. Thankfully, Jupiter and Uranus have kind of moved on, but a lot of the personal planets going to be transiting through, and they'll be, of course, hitting up all the points. So this can be a time to really kind of check in with where you're at, and then how that translates to in the grander scheme of things. Like, where are you at on your journey? Are you going through because this varies depending on where you're at. And like a major thing, have you going through like your first or second Saturn return? Are you in the middle of a Neptune square, Uranus opposition? You know, what are the bigger, grander things in that? What the hell are those things? You know, we can talk about this stuff, Cancer, really kind of get in depth with that. Make sure we have this clarity, because I feel like it's not just about getting it to where I'm just kind of telling you you're not sure what to do. It's getting you kind of fluid with the language. Like when you hear Cancer, okay, this is a time where I may need to be a bit more introspective here. Like, or this is a time where it's in Gemini, maybe I need to be more social, or it's in Gemini and that's squaring a bunch of my stuff and maybe I need to stay away for a minute. It may be a little difficult for me to talk with people at this time, you know, but it's nice to know this type of stuff, to kind of feel these things out and to feel this whole purpose to really just get you in tune with who you are, you know. So it's beautiful when you work, how you can work with these energies there, Cancer. And what I like to do, especially I feel like if you have Cancer placements working with the lunar return, that gives you just a month by month play of what's going on emotionally for you for the year. The solar return is a bigger aspect, focusing on from where your natal chart is. So we can do a lot of rich information that can come from this Cancer. So if that's something that resonates with you, definitely book a reading with me. Again, that's all down in the description box. And last few things, Cancer. These readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then Cancer, let's go ahead and I think that's all I got for you, Cancer. So actually, check out down in the description box below, there is this reader, Jamie. She is fantastic. She's been really doing a lot but just very supportive with what I've been doing, and really is very supportive with just the community as well. She does this thing with this book club that she's been running. Then they're forming different groups, and it's just a really great culture and community that I feel. She's really working with this Pluto in Aquarius, something of an inspiration. So I've been, if you check out her channel as well, she does really great. We have a Cancer exclusive channel as well, because Cancerian, that frequency where we're raising the vibration there, Cancer. So that's always fantastic. But let's go ahead and get into your general energy of the day, Cancer, which is the fire spirit, Cancer, which is the energy card here. And I like this too because this is the 17th card, which is star card energy. And Cancer, I feel with this, it's kind of like, I think one of your titles or one of your readings for that, we were kind of building on hope, but now it's like we're taking that hope and channeling that and creating this fire here, this energy. And I like to just even looking at this woman here, Cancer, I feel this is a time right now, especially with the moon being in Virgo, speaking of earth energy, well, we're talking about fire energy, but you see how she's grounded in the earth here. Where else is she grounded? She's grounded in the earth here. I feel like this is really kind of taking these, if you've been feeling a lot of optimism, enthusiasm, maybe even a little worry, a little anxiety, it's just what actions can we take to get this energy flowing, to transfer this in a certain way? I've been hearing this term, and so I heard it once from this one astrologer, and I heard a reader just say it not too long ago, and I feel like that does kind of apply here. It's this thinking cosmically, acting locally. And that basically is just when you get these downloads, these inspirations, it's just what ideas do that spark up for you? How can you get this thing going? Because when you're thinking about when we're manifesting and setting intentions during each of these new moons, for example, you're taking something from within you and manifesting it outward, Cancer, and that's amazing. There's a lot of energy that's coming through there. And it's when we get to the full moon, the seed has blossomed. You started to see the results. So I feel that, when you think the star card too, that's Aquarius energy. And Aquarius is very futuristic. And I feel like we're taking our energies, Cancer, and things are moving in a different type of way. I was even reading something too, just kind of thinking about the cycles of the planets and things. And Pluto's moving. He's got a very wide elliptical kind of sign or orbit compared to the other planets, considering he's so far out. But compared to how it used to be, Pluto took his sweet time kind of moving through signs. Where it's some of us now, you didn't used to experience, maybe for example, your Pluto square until maybe your 40s, 50s. But now it's that for some of us, we're going to be experiencing that maybe, probably close to about our 40s. It used to be about your 50s. But now it's Pluto, time is moving. The energy is moving. And now I feel like this is a time to really start making, the star card is a wish card, Cancer, even just thinking about this energy that's coming through here. So this is a time to, it's a time of action, but I don't feel like it's something that is forced right now. Especially with Mars still being in Pisces, we're still kind of listening to the intuitive downloads that the body is giving and just paying attention to the results here. Oh, here, Cancer, but hold on, let me get some tarot on this and get some details with this energy. Because Virgo energy too, just thinking about that, theirs is one that is taking think of yourself, is taking a skill, is learning a skill that's not just for them. Because after we get from that, when we're going through the zodiac, when we move, Leo is very set, focused on the self and the creative self-expression. But now Virgo takes the creativity and the inspiration from Leo and turns it into something practical, turning it into something that they can, that's beneficial for them and for others as well. And so yeah, let's see what's going on here, Cancer. Because I love it, our lovely guardians here. We have the priestess, the moon card. We got Capricorn here, the devil. We have the Three of Wands, then the Four of Swords, and then the Seven of Cups as well here, Cancer. And you know, with the Seven of Cups, I feel that this is one where this is a debauch card in this deck, so you can't ignore how kind of swamp-like and sluggish the energy is looking here. So I feel when you're working in these, your intentions matter in where you're, because that's interesting that this Three of Wands is here with the Seven of Cups, because I feel like there is a lot of opportunities that can open up for you here, Cancer. A lot of roads can open up, but the devil here, it's really paying attention to where your energy is going. Like, for example, paying attention to how much you may be on social media. Or I'm even thinking about too, for example, before I really started actively working with like astrology and tarot and things, I just spent a lot of my time just sort of checked out, just not really, there wasn't any energy that was really moving, or it was channeled somewhere else, and it was a little swampy. But now that the energies are moving, it's like when you see where you're putting in because we're not just, energy can be your money. This could be where you're putting in your time. This could be where you're putting in just a number of things, but it's all energetic exchanges here. And I feel that if something is, pay attention to your intuition, Cancer. That's a big thing, especially it's been a big thing since like 2011 when Neptune moved into Pisces. But now that we have a few more years of this really strong intuitive energy and getting familiar with the opportunities, that it's like we're almost like this Neptune has been helping kind of clear out the crud because the Seven of Cups can be a card of illusions as well. And with this devil energy, this is always like my prelude to a devil card. So we want to be mindful about just where things are wrapped up here, Cancer. And this devil card, he's a little inappropriate. But yeah, just also to Cancer, you got the Four of Swords here. And I feel that there is a time, we want to be responsible with this too. There's a time for action and a time for rest. And I feel like we want to be, sometimes I feel in the excitement of manifestation, when we see things moving, after we get that first kind of hit, when it takes a while for that second thing to come, it's like, that space in between, we can get uncomfortable with that. And it's just like, well, why isn't it coming? Then we end up chasing after something here, Cancer. And so I feel like there's this thing here about not forcing the energy with the Four of Swords here, to just trust when your intuition is letting you, like, pay attention to this. They're different signs, and I feel like they're very clear when the growth is happening, especially when we take a moment to and just kind of ground ourselves. But again, Mercury is retrograde right now. This isn't a time. It's not that you can't start up things during Mercury retrograde, but it's just like there are chances of repeats that are needing to happen. Some things may change because, again, Mercury is our day to day. And pay attention to that Cancer. But let's get some more on this, because I do like this, Cancer. Yourself. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, let's see. All right, Cancer. So you have the Three of Disc, the Queen of Disc, the Four of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Universe card, which is the world, Saturn here. And with Saturn being here, Saturn being in Pisces, especially, I feel like this is, universe has some very cool timing. I feel with Saturn having entered Pisces as he has, with Neptune wrapping up her time in Pisces. They're both going to be finishing around the same time and starting brand new cycles. And not just cycles for themselves individually, but together, because they're going to be forming a conjunction. Now, we've been having these outer planets, and this will be in 2026. We still have a while for 2026. Yes, I want to say 2026. I think it's February 20th. But we have a while for that. But Neptune has been giving us this really gift. I feel she has been really kind of opening our minds up to universe, to getting us out of these comfort zones. Because the Four of Cups, I'm getting chills even just thinking about it. The Four of Cups, there's usually this figure, I'm thinking in the Rider White deck, that has his hands kind of folded away, looking away. And there's this cup, the universe is handing out this cup here of whatever this may be. And it's paying really kind of, I feel Neptune is bringing this into our awareness, bringing in the signs of how magical this journey can be, of how we're really working with all this rich soil here with the Queen of Discs. But it's one thing, it's your perspective plays a big factor into that. Because when you even think about the Queen of Discs, she's one that I feel people would look at as a figure who is lucky. But when you look at this field here, she could look at this and be, oh my goodness, I'm so overwhelmed. What am I going to do with this whole field? And then just let it sit and just kind of sit there staring, admiring all this land, but not doing anything with it, all this potential. Or it's that perspective of just like, oh my goodness, look at this land. I'm going to have to tackle this. It's going to be some work. Three of Discs. I may even need to collaborate. Look at working with some others. But it's something where we could turn this into a lush utopia. Whatever it's Queen of Disc is very resourceful. And that's where I feel like the energies are getting us at Cancer, to be resourceful, to there have been some things, I will say that I've been I'm getting caught up when it comes to the internet, for example. And because I was just off. When I said I was like checked out, I wasn't on social media or anything for about a good decade. Just absent, no kind of presence, and it was just my universe. And I've been doing these things more lately, been interacting with it more. And there was a situation where I needed to be. If you would have asked me this year, like even like 5 years ago, I'm not even sure about how I would have figured it. I would have needed a Virgo, but it was something where I got an idea, and then a couple of intuitive clicks later, I had a whole thing just drafted. It was actually pretty fantastic. But this is a time where you just got to trust the body more, Cancer. Trust that you know what you're doing, that you can. This energy here, I feel like the universe wants us to get to our happily ever after. But it's something where we're needing to get disciplined, because that's where I was getting at with this whole thing with Saturn. Saturn going through, I feel like catching up with Neptune and all of this is, we've been steeping in all of this Neptunian energy. Now Saturn is just like, all right, she's giving you a gift. What are we doing with it? Like, okay, like, you have all, and he's not being aggressive about it. If anything, I feel Saturn's kind of being really supportive with this. It's just like, do you know how intuitive you are, priestess? Let's manifest. let's see it. Saturn is one that, yes, he brings delays. I heard someone say the Saturn delays, he doesn't deny. And I really like that, because he makes sure that he knows what you're getting into, the work that is going to be required to manifest these dreams. There are certain limits. Saturn sets these limitations here in these world, just to, I feel like, it's part of this growing process here, and it gets you to know yourself on a deeper level. Saturn is this interesting reward. Even just thinking about, because he is the modern guardian, or the guardian of Capricorn, and Capricorn is more than just like about career. Capricorn is doing what you want and going after that thing no matter what the challenges are. You know, no matter how people sees it, they could see it as weird, they could see it as they could praise it, but it's not about that. You know, it's about doing the thing that you want to because it resonates with you. Everything else is just a distraction. Or if it's just extra, you know, depending on what's going on. And that's what the devil is reminding us here, to stay focused, that we do have a focus here. And it's not that you can't enjoy the journey, but there is something bigger at play there. Your energy is a part of this like divine puzzle is what I'm kind of picturing here, Cancer. That's neat. So, you know, this is your dream is contributing towards the collective dream as well. There's something very interesting coming with that. I'm really kind of paying attention. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, Cancer, but when you turn the universe card sideways, there's this eye here. And I feel like the universe sees you and sees your energy and really wants to, and if you don't see it, Cancer, I feel like if the universe wants to invite you to kind of see yourself a bit more, to heal that self-esteem, that you can get things figured out and that you don't have to do this all alone as well. You know, Pluto's wanting us to find power in community as well. But I feel we have to know ourselves in order to know like our limitations. That's what Saturn is about. He helps us to understand where we need assistance at. We're not meant to do this tackle all the problems of the universe to, you know, all at once. But let's get some advice from Mercury and Chiron here, Cancer. All right, think of yourself. All right, Cancer, last little bit here. You have the 5 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, the 4 of Wands, the 6 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, and then Scorpio here, the Death card. And let's switch back over. Because, Cancer, you know, I feel the 2 of Cups here, and I like this. Because this is a card of relationships, but I feel like this is forming that relationship with yourself, with your energies, with your emotions. Because, you know, what we feel is what we're attracting. You know, Cancerian energy that's why we get labeled as such. That energy gets labeled as with such, you know, water energy in general. But a lot of that intuition and things come with the feeling things that aren't tangible. You know, it's feeling that, connecting to that wider relationship with Source. And I feel this Death card here is that relationship evolving over time. And I feel you'll see this not just in yourself, but with the relationships that you're interacting with as well. This 7 of Swords is very fascinating. It's giving me this energy of, it's a truth that's coming through, but I feel like it's a truth about when we're talking about Saturn and limitations. You know, I feel like Saturn's not there to defeat you. 5 of Swords, get you where you're disappointed in life, where you're feeling run down, where you feel like you can't. But what I do feel is going on here is that if you could do everything, there'd be no point for the rest of us to be here. You know, it's something very fascinating that's going through here. But I feel like there's this truth with this limitation as well. It's the understanding that these limitations, I feel like, are temporary. They're meant to push yourself. It's like when the best or great example I feel like could be, it's like when you're working out. There was a time where I remember when I started like lifting, like I was always really big into running, but I had neglected my upper body. And so that's something that I've been working on over these last few years. And I was just even thinking here recently where I've been lifting the same weights and they've been pushing me, of course, but it's just been right within my comfort zone. I've been afraid to push outside of that a little bit more. And so I've been pushing a little bit more. Yes, I still have a limitation, but that's just for right now. It's Saturn showing me like, hey, we got to strengthen this area up. That's what the wall is. And, you know, it's looking at that delay as almost as like a gift. Because if you had gone in not fully prepared, especially like with working out, for example, you can hurt yourself. And this is the same thing I feel with this journey energetically. It's not that you don't heal from it, but you can hurt yourself. I feel like you can get in these situations where it's just like, oh crap, now I got to backtrack and clean up some things, take a longer route, and not even a longer route. The route that was meant to go out for you, the choice that we all have this free will with our energy too as well. But this Four of Wands is giving me, whatever this is that you're trying to manifest, Cancer, I feel like times can get a little difficult, but I feel like it's seeing this thing through. I feel like things can be this, and I feel like, and watch how it changes you. And watch how it helps you evolve. And watch how victorious you can be, Cancer, with the Six of Wands. Here, let's not forget your victory here. Of course, I wouldn't forget about that, Cancer. And but Six of Wands, Four of Wands, I hear people cheering you on, Cancer. I feel your spirit guides cheering you on, your higher self cheering you on. When that voice inside that's telling you that you are great, that you can do this, that's higher self rooting you on there, Cancer. Yes, that's you, but higher self is you. And that's you reminding you that you got this, and that you have the energy for this, and that you can be the change that you want to see in the universe, in the world, Cancer. The universe is watching, and it loves it loves all of this expressions, Cancer, and all the ways that this energy is manifesting. So, very, very beautiful here, Cancer. I feel like this is a time. We're in a very, and Cancer, we did just get out of one last thing with this. We did just get out of that Mars-Saturn conjunction in Pisces, and I have to look again to see if they're going to form one more conjunction before Saturn moves out of Pisces. But that they're, especially with that Sabian symbol for that one, making sure to, and just thinking about Mars and Pisces in general, being very, Saturn does warrant responsibility. And because Mars is very intuitive, being one of the signs that he's associated with his guardianship of his Scorpio in Aries. But this is, it's one thing for this vessel to move, but it's being aware of the force that's moving it, Cancer, because this body, this vessel is, you manifested. It's something like, it's brilliant, Cancer. This is you this is your chart expressed. Like, that's the way I can put it. But I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. This is fantastic. But Cancer, if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this, Cancer, if you know someone who's been, maybe, I don't want to say maybe haven't been very mindful with their energies, or could be a little more active with the energies, can get things moving a bit more. Maybe things have gotten a little hazy there. Maybe there's been this energy of defeat, been feeling a little down. Maybe even this could be something where others have been maybe putting us down, maybe telling us that you can't do something, but it's usually in the face of opposition where magic can happen. We've all had these limitations, but it's just like, how strong do we want to, what actions do we take to rise above these limitations, to push the limits, And then subscribe there, universe. Hit that bell button to get you universe, how you, it's a universal high priestess, however that's looking. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then last couple things there, Cancer. Remember, if you want to see how these energies work in your chart, and you're curious about how the universe, the galaxy that is you, there, Cancer, how that's then translated, absolutely check out the links down in the description box below to book a reading with me, or on my Instagram page as well. Go over all that lovely stuff there, Cancer. And then after you get done looking at your chart, you can check out my channel, Alchemist 8, where I talk about the different astrological transits that are going on each week. And you can, after you get familiar with your chart, you can see how these energies are lining up with your chart, working with their in your personal, in your natal chart, how they're syncing up even in your solar return chart, and how you can, it can be, we can play around with this, Cancer, really kind of do some really mindful intention, where I got a lot of work where, especially where, like, for example, this Jupiter Uranus conjunction is happening. It's happening in my natal chart in my 10th house, and then in my solar return, which is just for this year, the year that is happening in my first house. And even for this month, my first house is very busy, just even in my lunar return. So this is a lot of, and I have been feeling that. It has been a lot of figuring out who I am and what do I want to do, and what do I actually value, and and it's getting 10th house stuff, which is Capricorn's house, and yeah, it's been an interesting journey for sure. But I feel like the energies are lining up. I mean, things are coming together already. And I think all that housekeeping, Cancer's down description box below. Let me get surprise cards here. I thought that transition could have been a lot smoother. Ooh, interesting, Cancer. So I can get you out of here. And we've been talking about this, Cancer. Here's Saturn and Pisces. You got the Eight of Cups here. And that's interesting because this is a card of indolence in this deck. And I feel like this is getting the energies moving. But I feel like part of this is, with Pisces, it's about that imagination. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? Is this all? And if we're satisfied with where things are at there, Cancer, absolutely. How can you, is there any way that you can make it even a little bit more company? Or even if there's something since you got that set out, do you want to do something else, Or, because I feel like we don't want to get, things do change, Cancer. Change is a constant. As much as I feel like let me get your Oracle card here. That's something I feel like to be mindful of there. But the Eight of Cups too can be this energy of having troubles maybe walking. Interesting, Cancer. We got to pay a little respect here, Cancer. Thank you, higher self. So, but it's with the Eight of Cups here, I feel there's something else that something that you may be energetically tied up in that's just no longer working for you. That's just eating away at things. It's just slowing you down, Cancer. And I feel like it is taking a look at that. Saturn and Pisces too here is bringing awareness. Because that's what Pisces is. It's awareness of how we've been in this, awareness of a bigger source, of this, whatever, and however you could, God, your angels, deities, higher self. Universe doesn't. I call universe something different all the time, but I do feel like there is something here about just being mindful. Like Cancer. So I think I told you about in this animal, the spirit deck, there were 4 cards in particular that really resonated really strongly with me, and this is one of them here. I think you've gotten the whale spirit. This is the second one here, the scarab beetle spirit. And this is a card of magic works through you. And we were talking about that with this energy here, Cancer. Magic works through you. Because you are magical. I mean, and I don't mean in just like a Harry Potter type of way. I mean, really, think about it. When you want something, you can manifest it. If you want to if I want to sing a song, I can do that. If I want to write a book, I can do that. If I want to change the look of this, I can do that. That's, I'm willing it to happen. I don't have to do anything, but I feel that in saying that, this magic is working through you. It's something, this energy is in you all the time. It's active, it's evolving, and it's maturing. And so I feel that the scarab beetle, I'm even thinking about the moon card. In this deck, the moon card, there's a scarab beetle that's carrying the sun to these gates. And I feel like that's where we're kind of at right now. The universe is kind of asking us, who are you, with this big eclipse for this year? This is a big one of who am I? And that's, again, let that overwhelm you. Let that excite you, Cancer. And let that inspire you. to newer heights, to new actions, to different wishes, to new hopes, to star card, unlock your potential. I know you don't got the star card here, but that fire spirit, you got that energy here. That hope it's lit, Cancer. And I feel like it's something that, when you get grounded in that, Cancer is going to feel this earth and it's going to get the rest of us grounded. And I'm excited to see the magic work through you there, Cancer. I'm with it. But, all right, Cancer, I'm going to leave that there. So you stay safe out, or stay mindful out there, Cancer. Say keep aware, trust your intuition, Cancer. Trust that. Keep eyes on the moon. Feel her energy there, Cancer. Whenever you get a moment, if you happen to see her, take a moment and I always like to, daytime, nighttime, whenever I happen to see her, I just take a moment and just kind of marvel at her a little bit and just appreciate the mystery that is the moon and the magic. And even with the sun, I just just feeling that warmth and really kind of just absorbing that energy there, Cancer. It's brilliant. And I will catch you on the next one, Moon Day.